All right, guys, good morning. It's Monday morning. Yesterday, Sunday, couldn't get out here. It was a washout yesterday. So, I mean, it literally rained all day. So, a lot of couch time, a lot of football time, and, just sitting around, relaxing, taking care of stuff inside. Of course, doing research on any number of things I got my mind on, all related to what's going on down here by the cabins. So, first things first, I need to mark off. I still have some of these logs down here that aren't bucked up yet, bucked up to length. So initially here with all these trees, they're going to be at 12 feet, probably a little over just to, make up for, some rough end cuts and things like that. So probably do 12.6 or so on most of these, but I just have to walk around with my tape and mark off where I got to bring down my chainsaw and just start bucking them up. And then at that point, we can start breaking out the four-wheeler and start dragging these up the hill. And that should be a lot of fun. All right, guys, let me get this done. And then when it gets time to start bucking things up, I'll bring you guys back along. All right, here we go. Well, we're all set to go. Got stuff marked off pretty well. Should go fairly easy. I brought my little saw out today. So it may take a little longer than obviously using my big saw, but I don't think there's anything that really would require that much oomph to get these bucked up. But I didn't bring down any wedges, so let's just see how long it takes before my bar gets pinched. We'll see. All right, guys, here we go. So I don't know if you guys saw that, but the uphill log here started to roll on me, started to come back at me. And it was fine. The kerf wasn't closing. It's just the fact that the log started rolling, but stuck is stuck no matter how you put it. We gotta find a branch to pry this out with. All right, y'all, went and got my good old handy rock bar here. I picked up a wedge while I was up there. Great idea.
I just underbucked that last section there. I knew it was held on both ends, so I knew the center was going to drop, and it wasn't really that thick. I got some smaller stuff over here, some yellow pine. Some of it's kind of wavy. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to use it, but I got to get it out of here. All right, that's good for now. I'll be able to start pulling these large ones away. That one that's one that's there, it's kind of pinned underneath everything. It's quite a bit of lemon to do still on that one, but we'll get to it. A lot of small branches got to be shredded or just dragged away. So I assume I'm going to have a pile maybe here somewhere, or maybe right up there, just to burn everything. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys, time to start dragging. Let's go. Well, here we go. I got that cable there. That's my choker that I got. That choker is going to go through a hole that I have underneath that 4x4. So ideally, once it gets tension behind the four-wheeler, it's going to pull the front end of this plastic up so it's not digging in the ground. So, unlike what I'm thinking of in true Marine Corps fashion, just to go after the biggest log first, just to see how it goes, I'm going to use some common sense here and just grab this. It's probably 10, maybe 10 inches down on this end, slightly larger up there on the high end. But this might be a good case because there's room underneath of this log here. I can get the cable under there. It's actually got a log under it here, so if I'm gonna have to pivot it a little bit to get it up on here. I mean, this could turn into just a circus here rather quick. I may just end up choking them and dragging them, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, you can't beat free, right? So we'll give it a shot and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, check this out. So it did eventually collapse or get pulled up into the bed liner, and it's actually riding here right now on this group of leaves and stuff. So I really don't mind that, because the back end back here is off the ground. So I think you know, this as of right now is okay, but I assume that there's some limb underneath here that's kind of dragging and getting everything caught up. So yeah, well, I don't know. It's certainly not light, that's to say the least, and I am probably going to want to, you know, use kind of the same path for most of these, so I don't have, I don't know, 1,000 divots around the yard here or something. But anyway, this was a pretty good test. So we're gonna keep going up the hill and we'll see how it goes. Well, I set the camera up ahead of me here just to get some footage of me driving past, but I've been sitting here for a couple minutes now spinning my tires, so I definitely should not have stopped. And it is wet. I mean, that's most likely the issue here. I think the four-wheeler can pull it, but I'm just sliding. So this is where we sit, and I don't necessarily know if it's going to get any better. I was thinking of kind of just changing my angle of pull, maybe pulling it that way a little bit, and then kind of going across. I don't know. I'm going to have to work on it and figure this out. All right, guys. I used my rock bar. I just kind of wedged it over here along the side. I'm going to have to wait till this is drier. So I have my next one, a little smaller. You can see the bed liner over there. So I'm gonna back up, grab that one. I should be able to get that one up the hill. We'll see how it goes. So this is one of the things I knew was going to happen. So it just kind of pulls it off to the side a little bit. So I'll get my rock bar and kind of wedge it back over a little bit. But see, things like this here, that stub that's out there and up there, I need to do a better job of checking these before I rig them up to drag. So we'll straighten that out, we'll cut those off, and we'll get it up the hill. We'll see how it goes. So that shot up there pretty nice. I was pretty happy with how that all actually handled. Now, it was certainly on the smaller, not the smallest ones I have here, but I mean, like I said, it was probably 8 to 10 inches, and that one was only 8 feet long. So yeah, I guess I'll take my victories where I can, and I'll call that a victory. It's up the hill. Worst case scenario is I'm going to have to use a come along to drag all of these up the hill, like a come along. Nobody wants to see that happen. So we're going to figure it out. I think the wet ground is working against me. The four-wheeler has plenty of power. I'm not really worried about that, but I have to maintain my momentum. That's obviously key to getting these things moving in a forward direction. As soon as you stop, it just, with this wet ground, it's just tough to get going again. So we'll work on that. Let's get up top and see how things ended up. All right, so this is about where it's going to be placed and stacked up. I'll probably keep them back there a little further back, you know, next to those telephone poles and whatnot. But my gadget worked okay. You saw it next. It was okay, but I mean, worst thing, I don't want to drag it through these rocks. That's the worst things for a saw blade. So, all right, let me get this stacked up, and we're gonna head down and do it again. You guys, what I'm really trying to avoid, and it may seem like little things, but it really matters. It's just like running a chainsaw blade. So see all the dirt that's caked on there, and then down through, this is a big dirt kind of spot. This here is caked in there. You know, dirt, debris up in here, all this dirt here. All that stuff is detrimental to my saw blade. It's just like cutting 1,000 rocks. So it's been quite a day of learning here, and realizing that I know some guys, they pressure wash their logs before they put them on the mill. And the more and more I do this, granted this is only literally the second log I've dragged. The first one only went 30 feet. So, that being said, there's going to have to be another solution. This is not going to cut it. I think it made it easier to pull because the front end wasn't dragging in the dirt. You know, the part that's up on the choker. So I think that helped it. But that being said, I think I could probably cut this behind the wheel wells, kind of up there, just so this is more or less just like a cone to drag it, so the front end doesn't dig in. So we'll see. I'm going to grab a couple more, and we'll see how it goes. Well, in an effort to kind of clean up the area a little bit, I've got a bunch of these logs that I cut, you know, relatively short, and there's multiple up this hill, as well as I can't put like this small one here on the mill. So I'm going to cut them all. They're probably 4 or 5 feet long. So I'll put them in the back there, and I'll strap them up, and I'll show you what we come up with. All right, got these loaded up. I brought a strap down. We'll see how this works out. Well, we'll see how it goes. I don't think the front's gonna work. Let me show you what I got going on. So my chain that I have, okay, I thought my hooks here were gonna fit, where are you at, around these eye bolts that I put in, but they do not. I need larger hooks. So I don't know how I'm gonna pull this off. I had them hooked on the inside here, kind of like that, through a link, but that's not going to work because this is just going to get pulled down and those will eventually come off. It's just not going to work. I'm going to have to figure something out as I'm sitting here looking at it, because this is not light for sure. All right, let me figure something out. All right, guys, here's where we're at. It's a couple hours later. I ran to town. I got myself some more chain. So I got definitely a heavier chain. I think that's rated for a working weight of maybe 6,000 pounds or 4,000 pounds, something like that. Crazy. And then, so it is a bit longer than the chain I have. Plus, then I just have some locking carabiners here that will connect to it. And those carabiners there, they're rated, it says like 2,700 pounds. So I think it matches the eye bolts that are on there. So let's fire it up. Let's see what happens. Okay, so these logs here, relatively small, and has really kind of a lot of warp and bend in it. I don't think I'll really be able to get much use of them on the mill. So I'm just gonna buck them up for firewood and stack them over here off to the side. So that's what I'll work on now. So I'm left now with a lot of these longer trees that are really only about 3 to 4 inches in diameter. And then of course a lot of this brush, limbs and things like that. So I just need to organize for a burn pile, put that stuff in. And there's a lot of this stuff over here as well. All of this stuff that's right here. So I think I'm just going to spend some time dragging this across the driveway and then maybe back over to where that other pile of stuff was right over there, just to kind of get it out of the way. And if I do want to burn it, over there was where I had that large fire you guys saw in another video I made. So I'm going to spend a little time cleaning it up, but I do want to, tomorrow's another day, but I've got all these other logs over here, relatively small, that I know I'll be able to pull out, even if it is a little bit wet. The rest of this larger pine right here is probably going to have to wait either until it dries out or until I get the excavator out here. I know I'll be able to pull them out with the excavator. That won't be a problem. So, all right, that's what I'm going to work on now, just kind of cleaning up all this little brush. Probably chainsaw them up, maybe make them like 10 foot lengths or something like that, just to make them easier to carry, so I'm not dragging this 30-foot tree through the woods here. All right, here we go. Okay, so I just took my rock bar and I went ahead and pried this section of log out of the way here. So all of this debris here now, I can get to it kind of unencumbered. And yeah, just kind of work that in there. So this is probably going to be the last pile for the day. I may do some bucking of some of the other smaller logs that are kind of over on that side of it over there, but we'll see how I feel when I get done dragging this pile of stuff over there. Well, that project there was just kind of irritating, but it's got to be done. So made that happen. So tomorrow I'm out of gas in the chainsaw. Otherwise I got this kind of gnarly upper part of a tree here that I would kind of chop up. So tomorrow we're going to tackle this section right down here. All of this green area here. This is all just limbs off these pines. I should be able to shred this, so I'm going to get the shredder out and just kind of work on this area here. Like this long tree I got right here. We're gonna get that sorted. I might be able to get a 4x4 out of that bottom part, this bottom section here. I see I got some paint there, so I guess my intention was to cut it at least once. But this upper part is far too skinny to really do anything with. So I do have some other trees that are down here, like this one here, all just kind of gnarly and twisted. That's going to be firewood. And of course the tops of those yellow pines that are right down there, they're going to be limbed up and probably ran through the shredder as well. So anyway, so that's the plan for tomorrow. We'll be down here in this area. All right, guys, wrapping up for the day. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Shot quite a bit of video. Not quite sure how. Some of it was time-lapse, some of it wasn't. We're trying to put something together and come up with, you know, the best I can. It's it's not my priority. Getting this place cleaned up is certainly my priority, but definitely thanks for hanging out. You can see what's going on down here just about on a daily basis, and this is certainly today was really a good example. So tomorrow's supposed to be all sun. Should be up early and out here early, so we'll be at it again. Again, I told you my plans for kind of running the shredder a little bit tomorrow. Might drag some logs, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things go. So anyway, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow.